What's up, guys? It's about 1:45 at night. Just got home. Well, I guess technically 1:45 in the morning, but you know what I'm saying. Either way, I just couldn't wait to record this video. I went to a bigger locals today at the Oviedo Mall, if you happen to know where that is. And I went X1 in a total of 6 rounds. Funny story about the 6th round, but we'll get to that. For right now, I just want to show you the deck I'm playing. Um, it is Invoked, Shaddoll, Dogmatika, branded, featuring Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, also known as DPE. So it's a big mishmash of fusions, and I love it. I've been playing it a while. I'm experienced in the deck and its various engines, so I know how to make it work for me. And I just don't think people were prepared. And I'll go through those matchups. There's some interesting ones today, like some shenanigans to say the least. But let me just go through the deck profile first. So, we have our Alistair the Invoker engine, otherwise known as Invoked. You got your 3 Meltdown, you got your 3 Alistair the Invoker, and then you got your 2 actually, Invocation. But we do have a 4th copy of Magical Meltdown right here. And let me just say that this engine is as good as ever. If anything, you're just using it to bait people out. People still don't know like how to hand trap these cards correctly. They'll waste their Ash on like an Alistair, or sometimes they'll waste it on the Meltdown. And I happen to have the Alistair, or I happen to have the Invocation. You play this deck enough, it's bound to happen. The meme is real. It really is in this case. So Magical Meltdown is also one of the most busted cards ever. Cards like that shouldn't exist because they fundamentally break the game in a sense. But hey, I'm not complaining. So now we got our Dogmatika engine, and we got 3 different rarities of the Dogmatika engine. And then we got Fleur de Lis, Maximus, our Tutodeer, our Dogmatika Punishment. I love this card. When you know what you're playing against, and even if you're feeling ballsy, like say you win the dice roll and you go first and you open him, sometimes I just go for it, man. He's an awesome card. Sword Soul don't get nothing out of this card. It's really like the standout in my opinion. But also, she's great because she searches out this guy, who is also great because he takes people off guard, negates their effects, and he's strong. The Dear Servant, still wish it was at 3. This card comes in clutch. It's often sided out along with 1 Ecclesia. Not this copy, though. Even though I literally didn't open her a single hand. It was kind of weird. I only, searched out these 2 because I was just... I don't know. But, anyway, this is one of the best engines in the deck. It's how you OTK. It's how you get extra resources. And it's quite wondrous. So now, we go over to our branded engine. So we got our 2 Fallen Valbads, of course, and then our Branded Fusion. Branded Fusion should probably get hit eventually. When it does, this deck will take a dive because it is, it's awesome, to say the least. It's one of the best fusion spells ever. In fact, it might just be the best ever. But, you know what's also another good one? DPE! He's still alive. I haven't given up on him. You gotta believe in yourself. Sometimes you hard draw it and it wins you the game when you thought you were certainly gonna lose. If you haven't noticed yet, this is an all gas, no brakes type of deck, but still somehow has recursion. Like, if they really wipe your resources, you're just truly done. But you can always top deck something. Like, if you don't top deck it, you're done. But this deck has so many good top decks, it's insane. And speaking of, you're still able to run quite a few hand traps, which I have decided to do. You got your customary 3 Ash, 3 Veiler, really useful in this deck particularly. Imperm, I truly think it's one of those staples you gotta have. Yeah, it's interesting because people get thrown off by it. I also run the 2 DD Crow because the Despia matchup is probably our hardest matchup, if I want to be truly honest. So we gotta make sure that we're prepared. This also works very well against Eldritch, but you know, you know what else works well against Eldritch? A power one of Feather Duster. I swear, I think I'm just gonna run it main deck in almost every deck because I'm tired of mine. Tired of running into these strong back row decks that think they're entitled to win game one. And I love back row decks, but just saying, a lot of people who use that strategy, you just love to dust them. You also love to call by the grave the Golden Lord, or any Despia card that your opponent tries to sneak in there. You ain't winning this one, pal. And then the card I actually didn't use at all today. So I used to run a Shaddoll Beast in here as well. Shaddoll Fusion for me is too bricky. It's still fun and comes in, like, if you run Shaddoll Fusions and more Shaddolls, you can do fundamentally more with this deck, but it almost makes you want to go second. And in this build, I like to go first. So I decided to take out the Beast. It was bricking a little bit. It had its moments. Like, if you happen to have Beast in hand and you send App Cologne, you could add this and then discard the Beast and then draw one card. But all that just for a potential brick and then just draw one. You know what I'm saying? So the extra DD Crow is handy in my opinion. So all the hand traps came in clutch. The broken one-ups came in clutch. I still wouldn't mind seeing this come back to 2. Just unpopular opinion. Feels more sacky now than I feel like it would be at 2. But now we go to our extra deck. Very fun part. So this is part of your your Invoked engine, but it's also a part for your Dogmatika engine because you can banish the Almirage to summon Maximus, and then Maximus does a lot of things. So then we got the actual Invoked engine. This card used to be a construct when I played the Beast in the main deck as well, but I replaced it with this, and let me just say, I never want to take it out again. He is beastly. He won me like 2 games today, and he was still just something to scare people. Really handy killing weak tokens with this thing. But Chupacabra is also good. I think it's necessary. Branded engine. We got these guys. Yeah. Using 5 right there. Let's go, Brandon. You got this guy, who's one of my favorite cards. He's clutch in certain matchups. You got your opponent likes dragons. Well, you set your Fallen of Alvaz, and they won't be liking dragons no more. You'll be dragging these nuts across their forehead, because that's how you get rid of that stupid Boral End dragon. Every now and then they have the IP Masquerena and pop your set because they know what you're doing, but whatever. You just weren't meant to win then. This card came in clutch today. You know why? Because I sent Alistair the Invoker from deck off the branded fusion to make him, and then from there, if I had an invocation in my starting hand but no Alistair, that was one way to do it. I used him more today than I ever have in my entire time using this deck. Classic. I don't need to explain this. Perfect. I said this one a lot, actually. You want to see your Dogmatika engine. It's really powerful. And then this guy, I don't gotta explain him. He's better than Red Eyes Black Dragoon in my opinion, which ironically I played against. And then we have our small Shaddoll package. Send him, add this trap, summon this. I didn't get them at all today. I did have the Schism, and I could have used it because he was engraved, but I didn't want to. I saved it in hand in case my opponent had Evenly because I had Macabre on the field because I had another dimensional barrier set. But he had the reboot, so guess what? It didn't matter. And then we have this guy. He's really good. Can't say any more about him. He's just a boss, and he wins me a lot of matchups. And then the ints for some random destruction, which actually comes in clutch. Onto the side deck, 3 token collector. Oh my goodness, we have trouble against those token matchups with Adventurer and Sword Soul. This is particularly for Sword Soul. Don't ever side this in against Dinos, in case you didn't know. Then we got 3 Evenly. I love it. I don't own Storm or anything like that, so I think that card's better, to be honest. This card came in clutch. It's the only reason I beat Fluanderies. It's pretty useful. It's good against Sword Soul too, which I played 3 matches of. This card's also useful in that matchup. But, sometimes you just don't draw it. And then this card, it's a good card. It takes care of those stupid Mystic Mines and this occasional Scythe. Um, with that being said, I wish I could have played a red reboot. I don't know really what I'd take out though. Maybe a dimensional barrier. But honestly, this side deck was too clutch, especially because I played against a lot of Sword Soul like I anticipated. And there's as far as the matchups when I would say I'll name them all right now. So round 1, I played Pure Adventure. It was quite annoying. He was playing equip spells that said Starlaugh Papillion on it, but it also said Adventurer Token on it. I'm like, what? How are these two things related? I had no clue. It was insane. He had to have gone on DB and typed in the description Adventurer Token, because I had no idea those cards even existed. I beat him pretty handily game 1. Game 2, he actually misplayed and should have beat me. I misplayed as well with the destruction of my DPE. He was playing Eldritch in the deck, so it was a tough matchup. But luckily for me, he made the misplay, which allowed me to come back next turn and get this clean sweep 2-0. But he definitely should have won game 2. He was about to attack. He would have won if he summoned out his illegal knight before he linked off his token. I know, it was really weird. It was a weird matchup. But round 2, so this is a whole story. This is my only loss. And I took the only loss because I was 5 minutes late to the duel. I was ordering food in the food court section that was right next to the store in the mall, and I got my food and come back, and I guess they'd already started the timer. I mistimed how long I'd been gone. He got the game 1 win, so like he wanted it, so, and I said, yeah, take it, I don't care. He goes, oh, he's trying to explain himself. I'm like, just take it, bro. Like, I was 5 minutes late, I get it. Know you want to win and shit. So I actually said, all right, well, I'll be right back. And I ate the food for the next 5 minutes. I was like, if I'm going to take the loss, let's add another 5 minutes to this timer. So, of course, he wins the dice roll. He's playing Sword Soul. I was doing all right, but I couldn't get past his game 1 board. And since he had already won the game, the first game via forfeit, it was that was a loss. But whatever. Love to play that guy again. But with that being said, we go into the next game, which made me feel like I got redemption because I was playing against another Sword Soul deck. And went 1-1-1. Uh, and he got me game 2. It was real tough. I was nervous because I could not see any of my side deck cards. Still didn't see any side deck cards for game 3, but it didn't matter. I was able to just play through him with the engines themselves. And then when we got to game 4, I played against Fluanderies, which is one of this deck's worst matchups. But luckily for me, game 1, he won the dice roll. He didn't get to open any of his starters, not even after Pot of Duality. So I got really fortunate. I'd sweep him game 1 once it's my turn. And then game 2, I made a crucial error. I would have won that game, but I summoned Lubellion in freaking attack mode for some reason. And when I did that, it was in main phase 2, so I really don't know what I was thinking. I'm like, oh, I blew it, because I could have gotten rid of his M-Pen if I did. Like, have it in defense mode. I would have made the Mirror Jade in defense mode and banished the M-Pen, and then I think I would have clutched it out from there. But it didn't matter, because game 3, I got There Can Be Only One. It took me a few turns to get to my engine cards after that, but thank Christ he didn't get his continuous spell or any back row removal. So I was able to do that, and then finally get to my Dogmatika engine and my Alistairs, and uniquely play my Dogmatika and Alistair engine, like continuously banishing them, so I could use Alistair again. I got out of the Purgatrio, and then I gave it, I knew that next turn I could summon a Macabre, because I had an Invocation in hand. but I was like, oh, I gotta wait on this one. So he drew. I thought he was gonna do something. It really scared me, but he didn't get to a card he needed to remove my field. So as soon as my next turn came up, I made the Macabre and took that game. Game 5, I played against Sword Soul. or no, not Sword Soul. I played against Branded. All right, yeah, Sword Soul was round 6, but Branded went pretty well. Uh I lost game 1, then I brought it back game 2 thanks to Dimensional Barrier, and then game 3 he was it was like going really poorly, and I was able to top deck the Fusion Destiny, and then from there it kind of just went fizzled down from there. I had the Called by the Grave. He had the Crossout Designator. It was a crazy match, but I was able to pull it off, which is amazing because that's by far this deck's toughest matchup, especially if they run Super Poly. Then you kind of just lose. But thankfully he didn't. So then the whole reason we even got to around 6 was because I decided I wanted to play it out on the top cut. Everyone was bummed at me. They were all fucking hating me, but they can deal with it. Because I just like to play. I don't go here looking for prizes. I just want to play games. That's what I do because I don't get to play enough in person. So when I do, I really enjoy the opportunity. I want to play some games, especially since I felt kind of bummed out about that game 2 loss. So, of course, I played dude playing Sword Soul. I just, game 1, I was able to bring it back. Was losing pretty badly, but I was able to bring it back with all the various fusion spells. Game 2, I drew the nuts. I got my sided token collectors. I got all my good stuff and was just shutting him down. And props to him, he still almost got it back and played through my token collector. With the Link 2 Tenyi guy, he brought back his Grandmaster Shishao and made it a really tough matchup. But finally, I was able to get to a branded fusion, and I also set an Alistair the Invoker, and he attacked it, so he wasn't able to use his Grandmaster and damage step in order to negate the add of invocation. So that's pretty cool. Alistair comes in handy sometimes with that flip effect. And man, he was wearing me down too. He was also really salty afterwards. He's like, "You always want to play top cut," and I'm like, "Nah, bro, that's not true. This is the first time I've ever done this." So, I don't know. But what I do know is this was a second place deck profile. It took first place at a smaller locals last Tuesday actually, and you know I really enjoy the deck. I think it's got a lot of potential, and you shouldn't sleep on it. So give it a go if you want to, and always feel free to tweak the deck around, make it your own. But this is what worked for me, and I love it. Try the Shaddoll package too, and see if you like that one more. It's worth it sometimes. The Ariel comes in clutch. But anyways, this video is going on way too damn long. This is my second place deck profile, and I'll be posting more soon. Farewell.